So here we are about 20 to 30 minutes in, and basically what's going on is there's definitely a lot of flatworms in the water column. The trouble is there's really no way to isolate them. I mean, if I started trying to do a water change, I don't really know what I'd be doing. I mean, there's not like a pocket of them where I could just, you know, slurp them out with the siphon or whatever. So, I mean, I would kind of just be frivolously changing water at this point. And I think what happens to people when they have a problem is they have a massive die-off of the flatworms, and then as their bodies degrade, that's when you get all the toxins leached into your water that actually affects your system. So, in my case, I'm going to kind of let my skimmer do its thing for a while, and hopefully that'll be pulling out an awful lot of the stuff in the water column. And even then, there isn't a crazy amount. I was able to get quite a bit of them out before I treated, and that's important you do that. I mean, this is really about damage control from everything I'm gathering. So just you know, be a foresightful kind of aquarist, whatever. And that probably sounded really pretentious anyway, but you know, just take some time, plan ahead, have plenty of water on hand, siphon out as many of the worms as you can. I saw a great suggestion online. Somebody was taking airline tubing and rubber banded that to like a nylon bag, tossed it in their sump, which obviously wouldn't help you very much if you don't have one. But they started a siphon, and they were sucking out their flatworms on a continuous siphon with the bag and the sump, so you're not actually pulling any water out, and the flatworms get stuck in the bag and the water keeps on flowing. So that's a great way of getting a lot of them out. And then some guys at a saltwater store down the street from me told me that a problem they seem to have is when the flatworms attach themselves to the base of corals, the corals seem to kind of slime over those flatworms and actually ends up protecting them, so you don't really get those out. So just be aware of all that stuff. You know, you could take a bucket and dose it with some of the flatworm treatment and dunk your corals in there if you see any flatworms attached to them, or even if you don't, it's probably a good idea. So like I said, you know, we're about a half hour in here. I don't see any flatworms at all in my rock when I look around. They're definitely breezing around in the water column. I'll come back again in maybe another half hour, give you guys an update. Hopefully nothing crazy is going on. And yeah, we'll just see what's happening then. Okay, so we're about 5 hours in now, and there is not any noticeable, you know, clusters of flatworms anywhere left in the tank. I got one guy that's still just holding on to the glass for maybe absolutely no reason. It might be dead and stuck. And in fact, now I'm not even seeing it. Oh, there it is. There's just one of them. But again, I'm seeing no change in the reef at all. The LPS didn't start sliming. The ACAN looks great. The frog spawns aren't doing anything. Fish have been acting totally normal. My mandarin's still picking at the rock. Skimmer hasn't started overproducing or anything like that, and flatworms seem to be gone, and there's no problems at all. I haven't changed any water. I'm still kind of waiting for the bang, but I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this, just in case, you know, there is still something happening, or maybe I underdose. I just don't know. So I'm gonna leave it hang tight for another couple hours, and if nothing else is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and do the water change and call it quits. Okay guys, it's been, well, a little over 7 hours. I don't see any flatworms anywhere, except that one is still on the far glass for whatever reason, and I think it probably did die and stuck to something. But, I mean, there is not a flatworm to be seen. My gravel, or sand, is noticeably brownish, so I'm assuming that's probably flatworms, but I'm not really going to know exactly probably till I start the gravel vac here. But so far, I mean, it says to do a 25% water change. I'm just going to do my 10. That's what I, you know, was aiming to do for a water change anyway, but I was expecting a massive slime out, and I thought I was going to be all scared and everything was going to be all out of control, but nothing. I mean, the skimmer's totally normal, and fish are hungry. They're looking to eat right now. Like I said, the mandarin's been poking around all day. ACAN still looks real happy. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, do the water change, and let you know how that all turned out, and I guess that's about it. Okay guys, so this is my last video on the flatworm stuff. I didn't want to clean the glass off before I showed you this, just in case for whatever reason the mag scraper kind of slimifies things, but basically I've now done a 10-gallon water change on my 90, which, you know, the product was recommending me do at least, you know, 20. So I've done half of the recommended water change, but I gotta admit, from all the stuff that I've read online, I'm a little amazed. I have had virtually no backlash at all. The guy at the local fish store was telling me that his snails are falling off the walls and his corals are just puking their guts out, and you know, he told me his fish's eyes started bulging out of their head. So I mean, I was just expecting absolute mayhem here, and I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, here we are 8 hours after I dosed the tank, and I'm still waiting for the blast. But you know, I'm gonna totally jinx myself, but it looks like we're in the clear. Now that I've done the water change, oh, and that perk just knocked it off too. I had a little slime coming out of this frog spawn in particular. You can maybe kind of see some in the video a little bit. There's some stuck to the rock behind it. I don't know if you can see it flapping around there. The other one's got a little bit, yeah, you can see that guy for sure in the viewfinder. That guy's got a little slime, but I mean, this is nothing. I think this is just from the water change. I mean, you know, just kind of kicked some stuff around, and I just moved into my house here about 3 weeks ago, and my reef's been kind of, not too bad, but you know, the star polyp just closed up, but the water level was below there just a little, you know, 5 minutes ago. So that's pretty normal. The other one's still nice and open. So I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, everything looks pretty darn good. You can see all that funk on the glass. Today's my normal cleaning day and I haven't wiped that off yet, so excuse me, but A-can looks great. I mean, it, you know, has zero problems. The fish are waiting to be fed right now, obviously. So, you know, like I'm saying here, I mean, I have a pretty unusually large sump in proportion to my tank than most of the other guys that I'm in the hobby with around here. Again, I have the biggest sump available from ProClear. Again, it's rated for a 300-gallon system. Just running an Iwaki 40 for a return, so I got a pretty good amount of flow going back into the display. And then again, I do have a pretty large skimmer. This is the ETSS 500. And it is rated up to 180 gallons, and I'm running on my 90. You can see the waste collector on there. I mean, it just looks like coffee, syrupy, nasty. So, I mean, it's definitely earning its keep, but I mean, you know, and again, I don't want to jinx anybody else that maybe wasn't quite as prepared. I did have my flatworm population down pretty far before I dosed, but I would say this stuff is pretty safe to use. I have absolutely no complaints right now. And again, even that one that was holding on to the glass is now officially gone. I don't see a single flatworm anywhere in my reef, high or low. And when I did the water change, it seemed like it was a little unusually kind of dirty in the sand, but nothing crazy, nothing to write home about or anything. So I know I'm getting kind of talky here, but basically, yeah. Again, this was not flatworm exit that we used. This is called Flatworm Control from Blue Vet Prescriptions or RX, whatever. I think it's about the same exact price as the Flatworm Exit, and it is dosed a little differently. So just be aware of that. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But hopefully the video has been pretty demonstrative of kind of how this stuff reacts, and yeah. Hope it helps somebody. I know that I kind of wish that I had a little more info on this before I did it, but I'm kind of a visual learner, so hopefully a video is good for somebody. But anyway, yep, thanks for watching, guys, and all the best with your reefs.